I'm Sophie, I'm 24 and I live and work in rural Derbyshire. I have a workshop at my parents' house at the top of the garden, and I carve and turn wooden homewares and kitchenwares from locally sourced timber. The customer, whether it's a private commission or a restaurant or a shop, a stockist, it's always the kind of person who's looking for something unique and something handcrafted. They want that piece to have significance in its own right. The first thing I made was a spoon that I carved from an offcut of my mum's kitchen worktop. That was a reclaimed piece of teak from a garage. I saw people making spoons online and I ordered a hook knife, ordered a straight knife, and I just started carving them. And I remember doing it in front of the telly and my mum saying, "Stop getting shavings everywhere." And it was just so approachable. Like, I was always looking for new things to try, and so I just ran with it. I wouldn't say I was ever on the path to become a maker. I studied all sciences at school and my intention was to become a doctor, but I was drawn to making things, I guess, because I've always been creative and into taking things apart and putting them back together and building new things and projects. When I was a kid, I had this huge multi-storey hamster cage, and every time I'd clean this hamster out, I'd take all the pieces apart, I'd detail the numbers of how many tubes I had in this shape and how many balls I had in this shape, and then I would redesign it and put it back together again. And I remember my dad, who was a landscape designer, finding my little sketchbook and saying, "Oh, you know, that's really impressive that you did that." And I don't know, I suppose I thought that was normal, that you did interior design for your hamster, but in hindsight it wasn't. There's so many aspects of making that I enjoy. The main part is just getting this raw lump of material, and whether you're turning or carving it, just watching it evolve from its raw state into your final product. I think wood is quite a free material to work with. There's so many possibilities of things that you can create with it. The ways in which I've grown the most is that I've had an idea of something I wanted to make. I've known the shape and the colours and the textures, and I can really see it in my head. And then it's kind of sitting down and thinking, how am I going to get to that end point? And through that I've had to learn new skills, so had to start learning to use the chainsaw, a few methods of introducing texture onto the outside of wood, and then like a few natural staining ideas. After my granddad passed away, looking at what he'd achieved in life, so he was a GP, grew up in Ireland, and he was very much a country man, country gent. It was kind of looking at, like, yeah, this is your career, but how can you run that job and run your career in a way that will just lead to like a happy existence? So never mind if you're making enough money and if your name is known by everyone, are you enjoying your day to day? Are you meeting people who inspire you and who you enjoy being around? But it is about just doing what you enjoy and trying to do it to the best of your ability.